Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Welcome back there, Jackie. Lots of love. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in and supporting. I miss talking to you, so we need to get back on WhatsApp Be Talking more, don't we? or Telegram. Appreciate you so much. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips and balance, and paper of fair use. Can anyone see the picture of the two people right there? Anna Grace Layher of Bealeton, Virginia, and her boyfriend, Davey Sisk. If y'all can see it, please put in a thumbs up. Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. So a lot of times when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I say, y'all say do this, do that, and other. And the Bible actually says, it's better for him to tie a millstone around his neck and throw herself in the depths of the sea than it is to harm one of these little ones. And this is her relative, so I'm not sure how what the relationship was as far as. And Isaiah 1:17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. I'm wondering if the relatives knew that she was doing this for the kids. Hey, David, good to see you. Thanks for coming back. You can see the sicko's picture right there, see? Without further ado, let's get this going. Oh, that's the court system right here. I want to show you, this is where the guy worked. She raped and filmed this 3-year-old and 6-year-old relative. Then she sent the pornos to her boyfriend, who was a prison guard. He knew better. He's a prison guard, okay? DOJ, former Copywood prison guard, arrested on federal child porn charge. Now, something don't make sense right here, okay? When I read this article, and y'all understand why in a few minutes. Because if she sent the pornos to that guy, right? And I have questions about this other thing that we're about to get into. So in Charlottesville, Virginia, this was February 15, 2024, okay? A former prison officer at Copywood Correctional Center in Mitchells, Virginia, is accused of buying child pornography. The Department of Justice announced Thursday, February 15th, the 29-year-old Davey Jonathan Sisk of Culpeper is charged with 1 count of receipt of child pornography. Investigators believe Sisk paid a total of around $465 for multiple pictures and videos that were allegedly created and sold by a minor in Texas. They're saying a minor in Texas, okay? See, the girlfriend is in Virginia that she victimized her two relatives. So these are other kids that he had porno. Is he not arrested? Possibly. We'll find out a little bit more, hopefully, that he was arrested on this as well. This is so messed up, everybody. Hey there, Peggy. Good to see you. Hey, Carlene. Good to see you, too. Thanks for coming in, y'all. Y'all, please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Share screen. So we got that DOJ. We saw that. And let's go to... Here's where it talks about him, okay? The former Copywood prison guard sentenced to 40 years on child exploitation, child pornography charges. This is Charlottesville, Virginia. A former prison officer at Copywood Correctional Center in Mitchells, Virginia, was sentenced this week to 40 years in federal prison on a series of federal charges related to child sexual exploitation and child pornography. This was October 23rd. Davey Jonathan Sisk, 30, of Culpeper, Virginia, pled guilty in June to 2 counts of sexually exploiting and attempted to sexually exploit a child, as well as 1 count of receiving child pornography. According to court documents, Sisk used the social media application Telegram to engage another individual and Layher to create videos and photos of minors engaged in sexually explicit conduct and then send to him. This was her boyfriend as well. These videos and photos involved victims as young as 3 years old. Anna Layher, who is prosecuted in the Eastern District of Virginia for her role in sexually exploiting these victims, also received a 40-year sentence in September 2024. In addition, from 2021 through 2022, a 12-year-old minor living in Texas engaged in sexual intercourse with another minor child and then showed videos and images of these sexual encounters on the internet through various social media applications, including Snapchat. Sisk admitted to using Snapchat username JacksMoot2021 and to paying over $450 through Cash App to the 12-year-old minor in exchange for multiple sexually explicit images and videos. United States Attorney Christopher R. Kavanaugh made the announcement. Homeland Security investigations in Harrisburg, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. investigated the case. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sally J. Sullivan prosecuted the case. This case was brought as part of Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative launched in May 2006 by the Department of Justice to combat the growing epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse. Led by U.S. Attorney's offices and the Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section CEOS. Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to better locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children via the internet, as well as to identify and rescue victims. For more information about Project Safe Childhood, it said please visit that. This was updated October 23rd. So I went ahead and I clicked on Project Safe Childhood. Hey, Mr. L, good to see you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. So let's go here now to Project Safe Childhood, because that's where it said the link. So this is an organization. It says with the U.S. Department of Justice about Project Safe Childhood. Let me go. Project Safe Childhood is a nationwide initiative to combat the growing epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse launched in May 2006 by the Department of Justice, led by the U.S. Attorney's Offices and Criminal Division's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section CEOS. Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to better locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children via the internet, as well as to identify and rescue victims. They got other things right here. They got a lot of different news stories here. You see this? There's a California man, and this was December the 8th. A California man pleads guilty to attempted sexual exploitation of a 12-year-old and distributed child pornography. There's December the 8th. Cincinnati man pleads guilty to soliciting sex with a 15-year-old. December the 8th, convicted sex offender sentenced to 2 years in prison for failure to register. There's Dominican national indicted for receiving and possessing child sex abuse material. Former Hartford County Sheriff Office detective pleads guilty to sexual exploitation of 2 children. See, that's a Sheriff's Office detective in Maryland. And that was December the 8th. And the story was December the 8th, man charged with transporting minor across state lines to engage in sexual activity and related offenses. So this place has got more news when you click on the bottom. Project Safe Childhood. So let me go ahead and close this out. Let me get to her a little bit more on this woman. I don't want to really call her a woman. I'm sorry, I really don't. Yeah, it is unreal, isn't it, Jackie? So let's go over here to Facebook. Here's her little mugshot here. A.G. Layher. So this is Bealeton woman sentenced to 90 years. So it's got 90 years here, okay? But then it's going to explain that in here, okay? For sexual offenses against children. In Warrenton, Virginia, on September the 15th, 2025, Anna Grace Layher of Bealeton, Virginia, was sentenced to in Fauquier County Circuit Court on charges of rape of a child under 13 of age and object sexual penetration of a child under 13 years of age. Oh boy. Layher had pleaded guilty to those charges on June 5th, 2025. The Honorable James P. Fisher sentenced Layher to a life sentence with all but 30 years suspended on the charge of rape, and a life sentence with all but 20 years suspended on the charge of object sexual penetration. In total, Layher will serve 50 years consecutive to a federal sentence of 40 years related to the sexual exploitation of children. Layher was sentenced on the federal case on September the 5th, 2024, in the Eastern District of Virginia. In 23 and 24, Layher produced sexually explicit videos and images of 2 children known to her. Layher sent those videos to Davey Jonathan Sisk. Sisk was sentenced to 40 years in a federal prison for sexually exploiting and attempted to sexually exploit a child, as well as receiving child pornography. At that time, Sisk was Layher's 29-year-old boyfriend living in Culpeper, Virginia. Sisk was sentenced on the federal case in October 2024 in the Western District of Virginia. And you're a prison guard, so now I guess they're going to have fun with you, boy. Layher is currently 28 years old. The suspended life sentence will stay in place for the remainder of her life. She'll register as a sex offender and be on lifetime supervised probation should she ever be released. There's also a lifetime protection order in place so she cannot have contact with her victims. Well, she don't need out of jail, okay? That's what the problem is. And why do we want to keep funding them in prison? Why can't they go ahead? Because they run them children's lives. They're going to have physical damage the rest of their life, okay? Take it for personal knowledge, okay? All right? They're going to have physical problems. So, and it's going to be a lifetime, okay? So why can't she get the rest of her life, make sure she never gets out of jail? What about that guy, too? Senior Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney A. Romero and Senior Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney A. Cassandra, Commonwealth's Attorney Office for Fauquier County, prosecuted the local case. Lieutenant D. Arrington, Fauquier County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Division, and special agents with Homeland Security investigated this case. This case was brought as part of Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative launched in May 2006 by the Department of Justice to combat the growing epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse. Led by U.S. Attorney's Offices and Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section. I think we went ahead and said about this, but they are locating, apprehending, and prosecuting individuals who exploit children via the internet, as well as identify and rescue victims. So yeah, let's go to the next thing. I've got some more information to share here. Let me get rid of the Facebook thing right there. This is unreal, isn't it? It's sickening. It's very sickening. Just make sure that I got the right one. Let's see. Bealeton. Let's see what y'all have to say right quick. You totally agree? It is very. So let's get over here, and I'm going to make it a fuller page since they want to keep ricocheting back and forth. I hate it when it does that. It's like, hey, people. Okay, I think we done read the Western, so let's go over here to the Eastern, because the Eastern is her. The Bealeton woman sentenced to 40 years in prison for sexually exploiting 2 children. So September the 6th, 2024. Let me make this bigger where y'all might be able to see it better. This was in Alexandria, Virginia. A Bealeton woman was sentenced yesterday to 40 years in prison. Well, it wasn't yesterday, but anyway. Followed by a lifetime of supervised release for sexual exploitation of children. According to court documents, in 2023 and 24, Anna Grace Layher, 27, produced sexually explicit videos and images of 2 children ages 6 and 3, both of whom were family members, see? Layher sent the videos to her boyfriend, Davey Jonathan Sisk, 29, of Culpeper, Virginia. Layher pled guilty on May the 2nd to 2 counts of sexual exploitation of a child. Sisk pled guilty on July the 9th to attempting to sexually exploit a child and receiving child pornography. Sisk is scheduled to be sentenced, which he already did, so we'll just skip that. Jessica D. Aber, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, and Derek W. Gordon, Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations in Washington, D.C., made the announcement after sentencing by U.S. District Judge Patricia Tolliver Giles. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Alexandra Serrano and Christina Ciano prosecuted the case. This case, well, we don't went over all that, so no need to go back over it there, okay? And it said a copy of the press release is located on the website of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia. They want you to pay for it a lot of times. It said related court documents and information are located on the website of the district court for the Eastern District of Virginia or on Pacer. So let's go to the next, clear that one out. See what that is. Okay, we didn't see that one. So got one more to share, okay? Exactly. You hope he drops the soap. The bad thing is, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of these pedophiles actually enjoy when they're victimized. That's kind of crazy, right? I kid you not. Okay, so let's get to the meat and ground of this other one. When we show the documentation of the court. Trying to make it bigger, yet it's trying to get smaller. That's what that part does, I tell you. Trying to get it bigger. It wants to fight me, everybody. So let's see. So let's view the summary. You see how it, okay, come on now, get bigger. You see how this is? Sorry, everybody. So let's go to, okay, come on. I'm sorry that it's giving me a fit right now. Okay, where's the plus should be over here. I thought it would. Get off of that. I guess it's trying to fight me, but it don't want me to show it. Okay. Let me restart this page up. I hope it'll be better this time. I hate this. Okay, let's go like this and let's try to download the file, right? So maybe if I download it that way, try to work it out. There we go. Can y'all see this okay? I don't think y'all can, so let me go back to stop the sharing on that one. Come over here and then share. I'm sorry, it just don't want me to share it. I hope I choose the right one now. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. So it says in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. It's the United States and a Layher. It versus them. Okay, affidavit in support of criminal complaint. I, Corey Bossy, a special agent with the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, being duly sworn, deposed, and state as follows. Introduction, purpose of affidavit. I am investigating the activities of Anna Layher, herein Layher, the suspected user of Snapchat account Super Stroked. Oh, what a sick name. Think about that. Ugh. As detailed herein, I submit that probable cause exists to believe that in or about and between May 2022, it's still like I'm trying to get it. Come on now. Work with me since I downloaded you. Okay. Let's go to this maximize button. There we go. That should be better. See where it's right there? She called herself super stroked. As detailed herein, I submit that probable cause exists to believe that in or about May 2022 through December 2022, Layher knowingly produced child sexual abuse material and distributed that to another Snapchat user within the Eastern District of Virginia in violation of these special codes. And it says right here, it's got it right here in the thing. Agent background and experience. I'm a special agent with the U.S. Homeland Security Investigations, and I've been so employed since September 2018. I'm currently assigned to the HSI office of the Special Agent in Charge, Washington, D.C., and I have investigated crimes relating to child exploitation on the internet since approximately January 2022. As part of my current duties as an HSI agent, I investigate criminal violations relating to child exploitation and child pornography, including violations pertaining to the illegal production, distribution, receipt, transportation, possession, and access with intent to view child pornography in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2251 and 18 U.S.C. 2252. I have received training in the area of child pornography and child exploitation, and I've had the opportunity to observe and review numerous examples of child pornography as defined in the Statute of 2256, including computer media. Through my experience and training, I can identify child pornography when I see it. Sources of information. Because the affidavit is being submitted for the limited purpose of establishing probable cause, I have not included details of every aspect to each and every fact known to me concerning this investigation. I make this affidavit based on personal knowledge and information received from other law enforcement officers and or agents. Unless otherwise noted, whatever is in this affidavit, I assert that a statement was made. The information was provided by another law enforcement officer or witness who may have had either direct or hearsay knowledge of that statement, and to whom I or others have spoken, or whose reports I have read and reviewed. Such statements are among many statements made by others and are stated in substance and in part unless otherwise indicated. I'm sorry. Still kind of hard a little bit to read. I think I'll make it a little bit bigger if it lets me. If it don't minimize again a little more. So please forgive me on that. Further, my interpretations and explanations of the significance of certain events, rewards, and statements discussed herein may evolve or change as the investigation progresses and or new information is discovered. I have set forth only the facts that I believe are necessary to establish probable cause to support an arrest warrant and criminal complaint. Come on down a little more. Okay. Snapchat is a visual messaging app made by Snap Incorporated, a United States company and a provider of electronic communication services defined in 18 U.S.C. 3127 and 2510. Specifically, Snapchat is free access social networking service accessible as a mobile and web application. Snap collects basic contact and personal identifying information from users during the Snapchat registration process. Snap also collects whether the account phone number has been verified. Snap collects and retains information about how each user accesses and uses Snapchat. This includes information about the IP addresses used to create and use an account, unique identifiers, and other information about devices and web browsers used to access an account, and session times and durations. Snap also collects account change history, which Snap describes as a log of changes in registration email or phone number, birth date, and display name. Each Snapchat account is identified by a username. A Snapchat username is a unique identifier associated with a specific Snapchat account. Snapchat users' names may be changed by a user once every 365 days. Unlike a username, a display name is not a unique identifier, and it can be changed repeatedly by a user, which changes how the display name appears to others within Snapchat. Users can also change how friends' display names appear to them on the Snapchat, which I'm telling y'all also at Snapchat, please make sure your kids do not put themselves on the map because it shows perpetrators their exact location. So please do not let your children do that. Snapchat offers four primary ways for users to communicate with each other. Snaps are photos or videos taken using the Snapchat app's camera on an individual's mobile devices. Snaps may be shared either directly in a chat with one or a group of the user's friends or shared in a story. Users can save a snap message by pressing and holding on it to save while viewing or directly after viewing a snap. After saving a snap, the snap will appear in the conversation as chat media. Snap servers are designed to automatically delete a shared snap after it has been opened by all recipients. The user can add snaps, memories, or images. So let's get on further down. No need to keep talking about what the benefits because we're not going to support them, okay? As detailed below, the investigation revealed that Snapchat account Superstroke23, that's Layher's account, distributed child sex abuse material produced by Layher to Snapchat account Jake Smoot 2021 from the residence of Bealeton, Virginia. Initiation of the investigation against Layher. On or around January 18, 2024, investigators received documents in the Snapchat account Jack Smoot 2021 pursuant to a federal search warrant in the Western District of Virginia for the suspected purchase and possession of child sexual abuse material from an identified minor victim in B1 year of birth 2008. Davey Sisk is the suspected user for Snapchat account Jake Smoot. A review of Jake Smoot 2021 identified the Snapchat account Superstroke23 sending child sexual abuse material to Jake Smoot. Subscriber information for the Snapchat account identified the display name as Anna L. and a phone number. That's got part of her phone number listed right there. But registered to Anna Layher. Local law enforcement information indicated that Layher and Sisk were previously in a romantic relationship. From around May 2022 through around December 2022, multiple images were sent from Snapchat account Superstroke23 to Jack Smoot, which contained child sexual abuse images of a minor victim. Year of birth 2017. And images of an adult female that matched open source and law enforcement database images of Layher. The images sent by Superstroke of MV2 to Jack Smoot match images of a child believed to be a female relative of Layher that were publicly posted on Layher's Facebook account. Whoa! A description of the child sexual abuse material and other relevant images produced and distributed by Layher are as follows. So at Facebook, it's probably just a regular photograph of the girl, but then in Snapchat, she did the sexual abuse. From on or around May the 6th, 2022, it's going up, but there the images were sent for Superstroke to Jack Smoot. 7 of the 8 images were nude images or partially nude images of Layher. Yuck. In 3 of the nude images, Layher's face is partially concealed. On or around May the 6th, 2022, Layher sent a message of Layher seated in a vehicle. The image captured from around the stomach area of Layher to the top of Layher's head with no concealment of Layher's face. On or around June the 6th, Superstroke sent Jack Smoot an image of Number 2, standing in what appears to be a living room, fully clothed and captured MV2 born in 2017, from MV2's feet to MV2's head in the frame of the image. On around June the 2nd, 2022, Superstroke 23 sent Jack Smoot an image of Layher standing in a bathroom with Layher's face partially concealed by the cell phone used to take the image. On around October 25th, 3 child sex abuse images suspected to be depicting MV2 were sent from Superstroke 23 to Jack Smoot. In those images, MV2 was lying on a bed with pink colored shorts, and the words Jojo Siwa was identified on the sheets. The 3 images captured MV2 with a shirt on, but with no clothing on below the waist. The frame of the 3 images was from around the stomach area to around the knee area of MV2. In the first image of MV2 was laying on her stomach with the back of MV2's hands touching the exposed buttocks of MV2. I'm so sorry you had to endure this, sweet girl. In the second image, what appears to be an adult's hand is observed holding one of MV2's leg, separating MV2's leg from MV2's other leg and exposing the genitals in the photo. What appears to be an adult's leg wearing pink and white striped pants is also observed directly below the adult hand holding one of her legs. In the third image, MV2 was laying on the bed on MV2's back with MV2's legs together and with the front of her genitalia exposed in the photo. What appears to be an adult's hand and observed touching one of her legs. So we don't need to go more into this. I'm just glad that they were busted. We're not going to go into more detail. It's bad enough as we're going through this. Hi there, Sheila. Good to see you. This is sick and twisted, diabolical. Let's remember to stand united. And I hope that these people never be let out of jail. I don't see why we keep letting them have a lifetime in jail or whatever and then letting them out, especially when it's sadistic cases like this. We're having to still pay for the housing, the food. They're getting treated better in prison a lot of times because if you mistreat them in jail, if you do something similar that they did to a child, oh, it's inhumane. You know, you can't go to do that to an adult, but you go like this, you kill a kid and you sadistically do these other sexual things, cut them or whatever. Oh, but that's not sadistic. Oh, yeah, I acknowledge that I ended up molesting and doing this to a kid, is what the person says. But y'all need to have grace on me and let me out of jail. I don't think so, Tim. I don't think so, Tim, okay? I'm tired of the judges and the court system failing our kids. We need to stand up and stand up for what's right. Because every time y'all let one of these people out, guess what? He goes back to reoffend. You might not hear about a case of it because they learn to get a little bit more trickier, okay? So they already know ins and outs. And the bad thing is, with home phones basically being obsolete mostly, just about everybody's got a cell phone. Even these predators that were used to saying you can't have a computer, but guess what? Cell phones are their computers now, right? What's so messed up with all these people? Y'all tell me what is so screwed up with this? I don't think that they needed to do away with some of the years. I don't believe, not unless they go ahead and let's say, okay, let's start using that millstone that the Bible's talking about, right? It's better tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the depths of the sea than it is to harm one of these little ones. Just believe in me. Okay? That's God's words. That's not my words. That's God's words. And I'm saying, that would solve a lot of cases right away where we don't have to go back and worry about them coming back and getting probation. And I'm all for that. I'm all for, I'm tired of all these kids, I'm tired of me, nothing ever being done for me. And these perpetrators, these higher ups in the government that's, friends with Epstein and everything, and over there, friends with John Ramsey and friends with Ed Bentley, and they're just being swept to the side because guess what? They work with the government, okay? Yeah, what's messed up with these creeps? That is a long, long list. You got that right. I mean, it's kind of weird that I got along a lot better with male than I did female, but it's like every female in my past, no matter what, there was not much kindness exuded towards me, right? All it was violence and this other stuff. Even though my dad did these kind of things and sold me and stuff, there were times when we played ball. There were times when we went fishing. There's time when we did other things, tickled and played around, without everything being sexual. But that's no way in saying that I'm forgiving him. Well, I do forgive him, but not in any way that saying that he shouldn't have to face the repercussions for the things that he did. I want to thank you all for coming. And please get the word out. Continue to spread the news. On Facebook, if y'all's my friend, I recently went ahead on my page and I shared some important, because somebody was sharing about a little girl that got married to a Muslim guy, and she looked like she was about what 6 year old, 6, 7, something like that, and they kissed. I was like disgusting, and I go, yeah, but that's not part of the problem too. There's more to the situation. Have y'all seen the videos that I did? I did 3 different ones with child marriages in the United States. Back still in the 2000s, this was not even before the 1999. Okay, this was somewhere in 2000 in the state of Tennessee, where they let a 20-something-year-old woman marry an 11-year-old boy. So you can't tell me there ain't no problem still in our systems, okay? Okay, they got these laws that says, okay, you're not supposed to marry until you're 18, so we're going by that, and yeah, that's well and good. But guess what they're doing on top of that is they're not checking the people's IDs when they're getting married. So there's still some falling through the cracks. And I'm sure there's some that they're just, oh, that's a judge or something. So we're going to let that person go ahead and go and marry this little girl. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with the picture here, everybody? It's sick and twisted. And then there's another video at Facebook I want y'all to share too. I got to hang that up. I call that person back in a little bit. But it's another video on children birthing babies, okay? The youngest one was either 5 or 6 years old. I kid you not. Please go watch the video. If you don't see it at Facebook, look at it at my YouTube, okay? Children birthing babies. It's got the ages. That will throw you for a loop. I think it's the youngest one's either 5 or 6, I promise you. And then there's a couple more that's probably age 6, and it just goes on and on. It's time for us to stop being silent. It's time for us to stop being afraid. It's time for us to stick up for kids because it's been going on for a lot of years. And more of our kids are being victimized than ever before. Some kids are still, of course, they're never going to be found. And I know my son that was, from a rape back when I was a teenager, from my stepmom holding me well, and then them doing what they did with my baby. You know what? I might not get justice in this lifetime for that, but the good Lord above, guess what? He's going to exert his own justice to them. Okay? So that's the only way that I could look at that. I could say I forgive them, but that does not mean I want these people back in my life whatsoever. Okay? You got to keep these bad people out of your life and away from your kids. You don't know who to trust anymore. See, some say it's okay in some states and other countries. That doesn't make it right. You got that right. Just because it might be okay in other countries, this is America, right? We need to go by the rules, what they need to be the rules, you know. It's let me know that I got barbecue ribs in the oven, y'all. So it's let me know. And so I still got another hour for it to cook anyway, so it's okay. It's never okay. What happened to our kids being innocent, right? What happened to our kids sitting them down and training them in the ways of the Lord? And they should not depart from it, right? What happened to all that kind of thing? Instead, you're going like this and you're making them into doing these when they lose their innocence. Then you wonder why this kid is over here shooting at doing school shootings. Guess what they're being exposed to? Guess what they were forced into, you know? Of course, a lot of that's not going to be brought out. I feel for the kids and stuff. You know, there's so much going on that it messes with the kids' mentality. I kid you not, okay? Gonna, you're right. It is horrible. Well, our bucket list, my dad cut me between my legs when I was 4. I was on the living room couch and I was nude again. I don't never remember how I got naked in the first place. I guess they got me that way and I was forced to be that way or whatever, right? And he went over there and he spread my legs and he had, and just cut it off. He just cut it off when I was 4 years old. And it's sickening to see that he actually put it in his mouth and ate it, okay? I kid you not. He actually put it in his mouth and ate it. And then he had closed my leg back, and the next thing I remember after that is being in a tub of water, just like you see in The Sound of Freedom. A lot of times after these heinous acts, that's what they do. They put you in some salt type of water, I guess, to try to stop some of the bleeding or whatever. Because why do they got to put us in a tub of water to stop the bleeding? That's for something that they should not be doing in the first place. They're trying to cover up what they had done, right? Stop the bleeding when they can continue using this person as a victim, right? Continue on their sick, disgusting ways. Thank you. I'll try my best to get the word out as much as possible, and I appreciate y'all if y'all continue to get the word out there. And don't forget to thank God for bringing you through today. Don't forget to, count on Him and have a one-on-one relationship with Him. I promise you, things start getting a lot better once you do have a lot. That's the only reason I'm surviving. Because He kept standing up for me. I saw angel wings wrap around me at times. He's the only reason I attribute to my survival. It wasn't me, people. I'm not going to take the credit because I didn't want around. I just wanted gone. I was tired of living like that, okay? Okay, so thank you all. God bless y'all. Remember to be strong, be vigilant. Y'all deserve to spend some you time, some quality time, enjoying doing some things you enjoy doing as well. God bless.
Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.